All right, thank you guys for coming. I'm Becky, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so why are you guys here? So what does this talk about? So this is not an identity and access management talk. Sorry, I know. I'm very sorry. If if you're hoping to hear about MFA strategies, identity governance, and why someone still has domain access, the bar's that way. If you don't want to stay, I totally get it. If you also wanted to talk about AI and how to treat AI as an identity, and how to discuss how AI will replace your job, secure your job, or become your new digital identity, sorry, also not that talk. What we are going to talk about is our personal identities. So a little bit about me. So I started my career, and I hate to say this, in 2006, in identity and access management. I stayed in identity and IAM for way too long before I moved to the dark side, what I'm going to call cybersecurity, about 5 years ago. Today I manage a team of 12 individuals across information security and networking. I've been in leadership for over 15 years. My favorite part of leadership is coaching people, seeing people grow, meeting our goals, and overcoming burnout. I spend a lot of time thinking about security. But that's not really my identity. I'm also a mom of a 13-year-old who likes to remind me that in 24 days, she's going to be driving. That's really scary. I'm also a wife who in 26 days, we will be married for 26 years. 19 years. I'm an author. I've self-published 5 books. If you ever want to self-publish a book, come talk to me. I have learned some things along the way. And I'm a life coach, helping individuals cope with stress and achieve their life goals. I'm also so much more. I could not list all of that out here. Because of these roles, it started thinking, who are we when we're not working? All right, so let's go around the room, and I want all of you to introduce yourself. No, I'm just kidding. But if we think about that in our work, how many times have you introduced yourself on a vendor call? If I had $1 for every time, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I would be on a beach drinking margaritas. But when you're asked to introduce yourself, what do people normally say? It's not, hey, I'm Joe, I'm a dad, I'm a woodworker, I solve puzzles, I'm an accountant. No, it's typically just, I'm a Joe, I'm an accountant. We tell people our job titles. That becomes our identity. So as I mentioned, I'm a leader, and one of the questions that I like to ask when I'm interviewing is, if money were no object, but you still had to work, what would you choose to do? A lot of the times, people will tell me that they would stay in security. Maybe they're just telling me what they think I want to hear, or maybe people in this field are very passionate about what they do, which is great until that becomes too much, and that's all we do. We're going to talk about that more in a moment. So I would ask you to raise your hand, but as we kind of saw with Parody's fun there, that a lot of us are introverts who don't like to raise our hand. So I'll just read this out loud, and I want you to think about, is this you? So at home, you run your own home labs. You do CTFs outside of work for fun. You read security blogs at 10 p.m. You follow threat feeds for fun. You patch things on the weekends. You have broken something in your own home network experimenting. Your idea of relaxing is trying a new exploit chain. You feel the need to correct people when they call a phishing email spam. And if you say no to this one, you're obviously lying because you're here right now at a security conference for fun. So when this becomes the identity trap, security professionals often turn their hobbies into more security work. Curiosity leads to reading 10 different articles. Side projects leads to installing new security software. Conference talks are normally security related. CTF competitions, do I have to say anything more about that one? Your entire identity becomes, I am a security person. When that happens, burnout feels more personal, failure feels personal, incidents feel personal, your entire sense of self is tied to the job. When security is your identity, your job becomes the same thing. Burnout hits differently. It's not just job stress. It feels like you are the one failing. Work stress becomes personal stress. You can't disconnect. Your hobbies now feel like work. Your brain never gets a break. Cybersecurity has a unique problem that most industries don't. The work never ends. Most jobs have an end goal. Developers get to move code to production. A chef gets to serve a meal. Builders, the house is finished. With security, we have no final patch, we have no final alert, no final threat, and no final vulnerability. We operate in a permanent state of unfinished work. That creates a physiological trap. Your brain really gets closure. Okay, so we say, what about doctors, right? They obviously live in a high-stress job. But even doctors get closure moments. Doctors get to finish the surgery, treat a patient, and then they get to go home for the day. Security professionals live in a continuous exposure. We finish patching, and then we read about the next vulnerability before we even go to bed at night. It's not just about stress. We may not be saving lives, but we are protecting systems. So while doctors get to treat a patient, perform surgery, stabilize the patient, their shift ends, the case is closed, security investigates an incident, responds to a breach, contains the threat, the alerts continue, another vulnerability appears. When was the last time you felt like your work in security was truly done? Burnout in cybersecurity. So 60 to 76% of cybersecurity professionals report burnout in recent surveys. Some studies even report up to 86% experience fatigue of burnout. Cybersecurity professionals work an average of 10 extra hours per day. That's over an extra day per week. 66% say that their job is more stressful than 5 years ago, and 58% say that their team is understaffed. I don't think that this comes as any surprise to anybody in this room. When we compare that to even doctors, that's upwards of 53% for them. Nurses are 45%. General IT professionals is 40%, and general workforce is 30%. That's a huge difference. So how do we deal with burnout in cybersecurity? Well, we love our humor. So I put this slide together for the professional starter pack, which typically contains 37 browser tabs, a threat intel feed bookmark, home labs that consume more electricity than your refrigerator, 3 unfinished certifications, at least 1 CTFU meant to finish, a vulnerability scanner running somewhere, coffee, yeah, lots of freaking coffee. Hoodie is optional, highly recommended. I'm gonna say it's not optional. The color, maybe optional, black, obviously, truly recommended. You can pick, but I really suggest you go traditional black. So what burnout looks like: constant fatigue, even after you sleep, brain fog and slower thinking, irritability, lack of focus, your motivational drops. In our field, that's not just uncomfortable, it's risky. Missed alerts, slower response times, increased mistakes. It turns out I'm tired is not a great defense strategy. I tried it, it didn't really work. So what happens if you ignore it? Chronic stress and anxiety, sleep issues that don't go away, emotional detachment, you really just kind of stop caring. Cynicism towards work and people, that would never happen in our field, actually. I don't see that one. Physical health problems, blood pressure, leaving the field entirely, and loss of identity and purpose. Short-term burnout affects your performance, but long-term really affects your life. So cue me, what happened in my life? So I started doing CTFs over lunch hours. Evenings became security training. Nighttime became reading security articles. Everything I did revolved around security. That outcome was I was totally burnt out. I overlooked tasks. I missed emails that felt personal failure. I was tired all the time, which is beyond just normal. I started to lose interest in what I was doing. That was when I realized it was time for a change. So what does that change look like? Your brain needs closure. Healthy hobbies provide something security does not, an end. Your brain gets a signal that the task is done. And that's completion and physiological restoration. Security really gives you that feeling, but hobbies do. A puzzle, the last piece is completed. Video game, the level game completed. Reading, the final page or chapter is done. Gardening, you have that final harvest. Woodworking, the table is built. And this last one, I don't totally get, but some people love it. It's called exercise. The workout's completed. Maybe you guys can try it. I don't know. Let me know. So the goal isn't to replace your identity and security, it's to expand to it. You can still be security plus a reader, a builder, a gardener, a gamer, a writer. You don't need 10 hobbies, you just need one thing that is not security related, something you enjoy, something that has a clear end. Oh, we're going the wrong way. There we go. All right, so let's flip the script a little bit. So even like security people at night, instead of being normal, what is normal, but yeah. Security people watch a conference talk, they read a vulnerability report, they try to exploit a lab. Normal people watch TV, read a book, play a game. Somehow we've turned relaxing moments into more work. So become more normal instead. Take a break. We can't always turn it off. Our brains are just wired that way. We look for threats in the evening. How many people have watched a movie and said, that's a bad password? Attack paths and random systems, and we may always be on call. Your mind needs closure. Security doesn't give it to you, so you have to find you have to find it somewhere else. And create a mental boundary. Don't check alerts after a certain time when that's possible. Have a shutdown routine at the end of the day. Change your environment, moving from the desk to the couch, or if you always work at the desk, or always work on the couch, maybe go outside for a little bit. Rest is not optional. Schedule downtime like you schedule meetings, which if that were true, I would never have to work because I'm always in meetings. Treat it as it's important as you work, as work. Don't earn rest, plan it. If you only rest when everything is done, you'll never rest. Your brain needs a signal that the workday is over, even if the threats aren't. Ask yourself, what did you enjoy before the career? What did you lose along the way? Some examples are sports, art, reading, building things. That version of you still exists. It just got buried under alerts and deadlines. You don't need to love security less. This isn't about caring less about your job. It's about letting it be, let's start that one over. It's about not letting it be the only thing you care about. I was able to take what I love and turn it into something else. One of my first books is about a cybersecurity expert who uncovers a hidden corporate conspiracy. Life coaching is like leadership to me. I get to spend time with individuals watching them achieve their goals. So this is me now. I'm not gonna say that I'm totally not stressed. Like when your boss takes PTO for a week and a half during a very busy time. Thank you, Ryan. When your regulators are in and you're the only person for security talking about it. But it feels different. It's no longer personal. It doesn't feel like my identity. I can disconnect at the end of the day, and I have something that I look forward to. So all of this to say, a very long-winded way of go get a hobby. But seriously, final take. Security is what you do, not who you are. I love security. I'm passionate about security, but my identity is not just security. Security needs passionate people, but if your entire identity is security, burnout doesn't just take your job, it takes you. So the question I want to leave you with tonight is the same question I ask in my interviews. If money were no object, but unfortunately, you still have to work, who would you be? If the only answer is security, it might be time to discover something new. Questions? Perfect. Oh, darn it. No, go ahead. Can you guys help me out? Like balancing, it's really hard to hear. Yep. Yeah. Yes. The question, people who are starting out to be able to balance it. And yeah, I think that's a great question. So I would suggest, scheduling time to do that, but not having it be your entire identity, your entire day, right? So definitely still, you can do it like over your lunch hour, stuff like that, but just not being 24/7. Still scheduling time to do the other tasks as well. Like, maybe it is reading a book in the evenings or something like that. So you could still do those things, but also having another thing that, another task that you can complete. Does that answer your question? Perfect. Anybody else? All right. Thank you.